Let's start with our first news. Islam Makhachev says he is now unsure about his next fight, as rumors continue linking him with Ian Garry. Recently, it was reported that the matchup could happen this summer, but Islam revealed he has not even spoken with the UFC about it. Instead, Islam appears to be leaning towards a fight with Carlos Prates after his impressive TKO win over JDM this past weekend. In an interview with Red Corner MMA, Islam said there have been many rumors about him fighting Ian Garry next, but he made it clear he has not talked with UFC officials. I cannot say for sure who the next contender will be, as Kamaru Usman is also in the mix, alongside Ian Garry, Morales, and Carlos Prates. Islam added that Prates is currently gaining a lot of hype after his recent performances and is being talked about much more in the division. Because of this, he believes a matchup with Carlos Prates would be the most interesting option for him right now. At the moment, Islam Makhachev is focused on staying active and watching how the welterweight title picture develops before making any final decision. UFC discussions around his next opponent have not been confirmed, and internal talks are still ongoing behind the scenes. Fans were initially expecting the Ian Garry fight to be announced, but that plan now appears uncertain based on Islam's latest comments. Meanwhile, Carlos Prates continues to rise quickly in popularity after his recent TKO performance over JDM, which has significantly boosted his name in title discussions. At this stage, Islam's next move remains open, with both Ian Garry and Carlos Prates still in the conversation, but momentum seems to be shifting toward Prates as the most talked about potential opponent in the division now. Move on to another. Bilal Muhammad has been on fire with his fight breakdowns and predictions recently. He even predicted exactly how Carlos Prates would beat JDM in their last fight. Now Bilal has released his prediction for Khamzat versus Strickland, and he explains why he believes Khamzat will dominate the matchup. According to him, the key to victory for Khamzat is simple: wrestle early, wrestle fast, and do not wait for Strickland to get comfortable. He says Strickland usually starts slow pressure, builds rhythm with his jab, and then sneaks in his straight cross once he finds timing. Bilal believes Khamzat should shoot takedowns early, test Strickland's defensive wrestling, and use control on the ground where he has proven success against fighters like Duplessis and Kamaru Usman. He warns Khamzat not to empty his gas tank too early, suggesting he should pace himself across all 5 rounds and finish stronger in the later stages. On the feet, Bilal says Khamzat can also cause damage with kicks, especially body kicks, calf kicks, and knee strikes that can break Strickland's guard and slow him down. He believes Khamzat's striking is underrated and could force Strickland to think twice before engaging in boxing exchanges. Bilal also mentions that his teammate B. Allen, who has trained closely with Khamzat, says he is dangerous everywhere and improving rapidly in all areas of MMA. For Strickland, Bilal refuses to give full advice but emphasizes his jab, defensive awareness, and the importance of not getting stuck on the fence or giving up his back. He ends his breakdown by predicting a dominant win for Khamzat, saying the fight favors him in almost every area and calling it a strong statement performance if Khamzat executes the game plan. Meanwhile, Khamzat is currently preparing for his middleweight title defense against Strickland this weekend, training alongside Brendan Allen at Extreme Couture. Tensions have also risen in camp, with Allen claiming Strickland was seen arguing with coach Eric Nicksick during sparring sessions when Khamzat was present. The rivalry between both fighters continues to intensify, adding more pressure heading into fight night. Strickland, however, has dismissed outside noise and insists he is focused on defending his belt inside the cage. Both camps now wait for official confirmation from the UFC as fight week approaches and final details are locked in behind the scenes, and negotiations continue quietly. Move on to another news. Carlos Prates delivered a statement win over JDM, finishing him via TKO in the 3rd round over the weekend. After the fight, he revealed something unusual about his mindset leading into the bout. He said he had been manifesting the knockout by writing it on his mirror every single day. According to Prates, this daily ritual helped him build confidence and stay focused on finishing the fight. He believed that visualizing the knockout repeatedly played a key role in his performance inside the cage. The strategy seemed to pay off as he controlled the pace and secured a dominant stoppage over JDM. Fans were surprised after hearing that he had been writing the outcome on his mirror before every training session. Many described it as a strong example of visualization and belief in self-preparation. Inside the gym, Prates has been known for his disciplined approach and sharp focus during fight camps. This victory adds another highlight to his rising career, especially after finishing in an impressive fashion. He continues to build momentum in the division, with fans now paying close attention to his next move. The mirror message has now gone viral, with many calling it a sign of mental strength and extreme confidence. Prates simply wrote the words, and let his performance speak inside the cage. After the stoppage, he pointed back to the idea that belief off the canvas translates into success inside it. His win over JDM now stands as one of the biggest statements of his career so far. With momentum building, Prates has officially positioned himself as a rising force in the division after this breakthrough performance. And his mirror ritual story continues to spread across the MMA world as inspiration for many fighters now today. Move on to another news. Conor McGregor appears to have his sights set on yet another UFC world title, despite never having competed in the division. On Saturday night, in the main event of UFC 328, middleweight champion Khamzat will defend his belt against former champion Strickland in Newark. Conor is expected to be closely watching the fight, but seemingly as more than just a fan. Conor has previously claimed to be interested in fighting as high as 185 pounds, noting that he feels a true BMF wouldn't concern themselves with the scale. And while previewing Strickland and Khamzat's big fight, he claimed that the belt they were fighting for was already his. He tweeted, "Very excited for the Newark, New Jersey UFC card with my 185 lb UFC title on the line." Tune in on UFC Paramount. Fans, however, weren't convinced, with many quickly firing back in the replies and criticizing his comments. One fan wrote, "Conor hasn't fought in years and he's already talking about titles like he never left. Mystic Mac is crazy. 185-pound what? Take your meds, Conor. You're too small for even 170. Another fan tweeted, "Your belt? Try winning a fight this decade first, or just fighting, period." They added, "Khamzat would beat you with his eyes closed. 185 is not your division." The comments quickly spread across social media as the debate around Conor's potential jump to 185 pounds gained traction again. Many fans pointed out that he has not competed at middleweight before and questioned whether the call-out was realistic or just promotional talk. Others referenced his long absence from active competition and suggested he focus on returning to the cage before discussing title ambitions. Despite criticism, Conor's name continues to dominate fight discussions whenever major UFC cards are announced. His bold statements ahead of Khamzat versus Strickland have only added more attention to an already massive main event. As fight night approaches in Newark, the focus remains on Khamzat defending his title against Strickland, while Conor's comments continue to spark heated reactions among fighters and fans across the MMA world. For now, Conor remains one of the most talked about names in the sport, despite not currently competing, as debate around his future and weight class choice continues to grow stronger. UFC fans remain divided on his latest bold claim and statements. Today, move on to another news. Mike Perry is set to face Nate Diaz on the Ronda Rousey vs. Gina Carano card, which will stream on Netflix on May 16th. Perry says he still has his sights set on a future fight with Conor McGregor inside the UFC. The two have gone back and forth multiple times over the years at BKFC press conferences, with Perry serving as one of the promotion's top stars, while McGregor holds an ownership stake in the company. In an interview with MMA Junkie, Perry said, "Dating mother, he's always talking while I'm out here fighting and working, and I would love to fight him one. I already did take the trilogy with Nate from him, and I've got to go out there and perform on May 16th. Then yeah, absolutely. Me and him, UFC, hit me up. We'll make the McGregor fight. We'll fight at 170. I'm going to 170 for this one, and I'm going to shut his mouth." Well, that's the thing, right? I don't think UFC is letting go of those two Conor McGregor fights. That's why he hasn't fought in so long. They used those two McGregor fights for the Paramount deal. That's what everybody says, right? McGregor definitely makes waves. The Irish fan base, the European fan base, they really show up for McGregor, and I would love for all those people to see me beat him. Perry emphasized that he believes the UFC is holding back on the McGregor fights due to the massive commercial value behind them and the ongoing broadcast deals that rely on his name. He also argued that McGregor still brings global attention, especially from the Irish and European fan base, which consistently turns out in huge numbers whenever he is mentioned on a fight card. Perry closed by stating that his goal remains to step into the UFC octagon, face McGregor at welterweight, and prove he can silence one of the sport's biggest names. With tensions continuing to rise and fans debating the matchup, Perry's call-out adds another layer of hype to McGregor's already controversial return discussions inside the MMA world. As anticipation builds for both Perry's upcoming fight and McGregor's uncertain future, the conversation around a potential showdown keeps gaining momentum across the sport. In the MMA world, move on to another news. Sean Strickland is now being accused of an intense moment in training camp, as new claims surfaced just days before his middleweight title defense against Khamzat. Brendan Allen, who has been training closely with Khamzat ahead of the fight, revealed details of what he says he personally witnessed inside Strickland's gym, Extreme Couture. According to Allen, he saw Strickland yelling across the room at his coach Eric Nicksick during a training session. He claimed the situation escalated after Strickland became frustrated while Khamzat was also present in the gym. Allen suggested that Strickland was upset about sparring arrangements and accused Nicksick of being a bad coach for allowing certain training matchups. The incident reportedly happened while high-level preparations were taking place inside the camp. For context, Allen and Strickland have history, having fought back in 2020 where Strickland won via second-round TKO. That past result also became part of the discussion as Allen reflected on their rivalry during a recent interview. Speaking to Submission Radio, Allen said people constantly bring up Strickland's past win over him, but he believes the circumstances were different at the time. He explained that he was younger then, while Strickland was more experienced, and now he feels the gap has changed. Allen stated that he believes Strickland may have gotten lucky in that fight, pointing to what he called a mistake he made in the bout. He added that although the result stands, he still feels confident in a rematch scenario. He emphasized that Emma does not give multiple chances, only one night, and Strickland capitalized on that opportunity. Allen also reacted strongly to Strickland's behavior in camp, saying it sounded like unnecessary tension inside the gym. He referenced the alleged yelling at Nicksick and questioned the professionalism of the situation. He further claimed there are stories from people in the gym suggesting Strickland had difficult moments during sparring, although he did not provide specific details. Despite the controversy, Allen made it clear that the focus should remain on the upcoming fight, where Khamzat is preparing for a major middleweight title defense against Strickland. With fight week approaching, tensions between camps continue to rise, and these new accusations only add more heat to an already explosive matchup heading into Saturday night. Move on to another news. Robert Whittaker believes Sean Strickland has no chance against Khamzat, as he delivers a sharp prediction ahead of UFC 328. Speaking to UFC Paramount, Whittaker broke down the matchup and said he fully expects Khamzat to run over Strickland inside the cage. He explained that having shared the octagon with Khamzat, he understands exactly what happens when Khamzat gets hold of you. According to Whittaker, Khamzat shoots from very far range and commits completely to every takedown attempt without hesitation. He emphasized that once Khamzat closes the distance, it becomes extremely difficult to stop him from getting the fight to the mat. Whittaker also pointed out Khamzat's relentless pressure and control once he establishes top position, saying that it is not just the takedowns, but what follows that makes him dangerous. He noted that Khamzat has shown he can maintain a high pace across multiple rounds, which is a key factor in a 5-round championship fight. According to Whittaker, that combination of wrestling, pressure, and conditioning is what makes Khamzat such a problem for Strickland. He added that from what he has seen, Khamzat's cardio allows him to keep pushing the same pace deep into the championship rounds without slowing down. Whittaker made it clear that in his view, if he had to bet everything on the outcome, Khamzat would be the fighter most likely to dominate. He stated that the style matchup heavily favors Khamzat, especially if he is able to impose his grappling early and consistently. He also suggested that Strickland will struggle to keep the fight standing long enough to build his usual rhythm and jab-based offense. In Whittaker's eyes, once Khamzat gets going, the momentum becomes extremely difficult to stop. He concluded his breakdown by confidently saying that Khamzat is going to run through Strickland if the fight plays out the way he expects. With UFC 328 approaching, this prediction adds even more pressure and hype around the middleweight title clash, as fans continue debating whether Strickland can actually survive Khamzat's relentless pace and wrestling attack inside the octagon.